Here we have the first chapter. You can read the very nice line. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So, friends, music is all about all about feeling. Who can feel music can express it very nice, just the way she has done and she's been doing. The story starts with uh, introducing her as a timid girl going for joining an institute of music. She was a very amateur. Friends, will do this chapter in maybe 2 parts, so it's a long one. So let's go for it. Rush hour crowds, the kind of time of day where people are out of their houses so much, and there is a lot of traffic, and people are going on the pavements. Roads are full, pavements are full. Everyone is jostling just to get their way out. Is called as rush hour crowds. So rush hour crowds jostle for position. Jostling, friend, is a word that means pushing somebody very roughly. So is a new word for you. On the underground train platform, a slight girl, slight means very small and thin. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years. She is of 17 years, but even looking younger than that. She's looking around 14, 15 kind of years because she's very thin and gaunt. Was nervous yet excited. The way you will go for going for the board examination. And if you're prepared well, you must be very excited to give the papers at the same time going the board examination. So you feel a bit nervous. So it is the kind of situation. As she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. Here the reason of feeling nervous and excited is she's for the first time traveling in the train and going for such a big event. She's a bit nervous, but in spite of not being able to see the train, she's able to hear it. She feels very much excited. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. It's a very famous academy, friends. And daunting enough, looking very much frightened. She is frightening enough. So that particular place is very frightening, making anyone nervous. For any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. Friend, this is an institute where even the qualified one, proven one, experienced one, musicians are not given place. But she was given just because of her skills in spite of being deaf. She is actually from Scotland. Scotland is almost a rural area. And that girl from rural area has come to the urban area and going to join a very prestigious big institute of London. So obviously she is very nervous. But this aspiring, having got the desire to become something. Here she wants to be a musician, would be called as aspiring. This aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge. Is a new word. Aspiring is a very handy word. One more word was there, daunting. Faced a bigger challenge than most. The challenge is what? She was profoundly, deeply, absolutely deaf. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been, now this is what the history, how she has lost her hearing. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Obviously, hearing never goes so instantly, it goes gradually. The reason why people who are suffering from hearing loss hardly realize that they have lost it. It is somebody who can come and tell them that you're not able to hear them properly. Then you start losing your own, listening your own sound. You have to increase the volume of radio and television, and so this is how you realize that you're suffering from a loss of hearing. Other can make it out. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. It is for the first time her mother noticed that she's been given the instruction but she's not able to grab it and she's reacting late. So this is how she comes to know that she's suffering from a hearing loss. They called her name and she didn't move. This is how she did not react. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glaney. This is the mother of Evelyn Glaney. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. It is very embarrassing that you can say somebody that you lost hearing. So she didn't tell anyone. She kept it, hiding it. But ultimately it just revealed out. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, decreased, diminished. Her headmistress urged her parents, urged friends, requested her parents. See, note down all these words, please. Deteriorated, decreased, diminished, and urged, requested parents to take her to a specialist, obviously. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired. Impaired, another word is there. Impaired means damaged, weakened, as a result of gradual nerve damage. This is the reason why she lost her hearing. One of the nerves that is connected with hearing had been damaged. So that was getting damaged gradually. Gradual, another word is there. Gradual means at times, not so suddenly, not at a time, but slowly. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids, the way we wear that machine that can make you hear, that can enable to hear. So normally it is called as barometer, but it is a colloquial word, that is a wrong use of the word. Barometer is something else, but here hearing aid is what the name that we, of the instrument that we wear for hearing, and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black. Is an idiom. Everything suddenly looked black. That means she felt very hopeless, very disappointed, and she felt no hope of getting out of that critical situation. That is called as everything suddenly looked black. This is the opinion, this is the view, this is the feeling of Evelyn. But Evelyn was not going to give up, surrender against the situation. Stop putting the efforts, stop feeling hopeful. That is called as giving up. But she did not give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest, continue in music. One day she noticed a girl. See, this is how she inspired herself for playing xylophone. See, this is a picture of xylophone, friends. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her. This is not supposed to be done by the teachers. They should encourage the disabled children like Evelyn Glaney. They should stuff in some hope, some belief in them. So this is not called as being teacher. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist, now this is the word what I was talking about. Percussionist, a person who plays the drum or tabla, matlab such kind of instruments. Namely Ron Forbes. Spotted or potential. Potential, friend. Another word is there. Spotted, matlab, so find out. Potential means quality or ability that can be developed. Matlab, the inner strength that one has, the instinct that one has would be called as potential. He began by how he tested her potential. So he has done certain exercises upon, he has done certain experiments upon her and realized that she has got the sense of music. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes and instructed her, don't listen through your ears, he would say, but try to sense it some other way. Some other way means some people can feel by the thirds of the sound, some people can make out the waves of the sound, some people can feel by the body, certain parts of the body. It depends on the person. So how she has done, let's see that. Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up, or from the upper part of the waist of the body, and the lower one from the waist down. So this is how she felt the higher tones and lower tones. It is different in I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. But now she's gradually trained herself that she would train her body, her mind just to grab the vibrations of the sound. That is very difficult. Saying or speaking or reading is something very easy, but it needs a lot of time, a lot of efforts. Sometimes it is very frustrating. So she's done all this, and the rest was sheer determination and hard work. That's what I told you. She never looked back from that point onwards. After trained herself by grabbing the music by body and mind, by sheer determination and hard work, she has learnt, and then she had never looked back. Another idiom is there, or phrasal verb I can say, looked back. Malab never thought over limitations or going in the past and recalling all the limitations from the past. She just went ahead and ahead. From that point onwards, she toured. She's on the tour to United Kingdom, UK, England with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, and she had decided to make music her life. This is what the career she had chosen. Very offbeat, very much odd one for a deaf person. This is the story of Robert Frost, the road not taken. She has taken the road which was hardly taken by any deaf going for the music. She had decided to make her music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in history of the Academy in spite of being deaf. It is even difficult for the ordinary people to score good amount of marks, but in spite of being deaf, she is one of the rankers of the auditions. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. See friends, she has brought a very unknown offbeat instrument which may not be even the part of a band, and even if it is a part of a band, it is seen somewhere behind, far in the band. But she's brought that instrument xylophone right in the beginning, and now instead of playing with the band, she is now a solo artist and runs the entire orchestra. So this is what she has done with xylophone, with her sheer determination and greed for achieving something. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. Solo means done by only one person. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. And for all this, Evelyn won't stop, won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. Well, in spite of achieving all this, she feels very down to earth. She never feels or never expresses or never make anyone feel that she's done something heroic. She's achieved something very great, something very brave. And she says, if you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. Well, if you have sheer determination into you, so no barriers in the world, in spite of, including even the barrier of the body, in spite you are disabled, you can still reach to the higher heights. So this is what she has done. And she got right to the top. The world's most sought after. It's a very is a word sought after, highly in demand. Multi-percussionist, the one who plays more than one percussion instrument would be called as multi-percussionist, with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments. I've shown you that picture where number of instruments have been there. All can be played by and masterly played by Evelyn Glennie. And the hectic, something that marks intense agitation or emotion, hard work, would be called as hectic international schedule. It is intriguing, very fascinating, very curious to know, to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly. You must have seen that video, and one can never make out that the girl who's playing upon the xylophone is a deaf one. So this is how she plays, and it is very amazing to look at her while she's playing the instrument. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, this is what is said by the interviewer about Evelyn Glennie. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. When they were talking, she was hardly able to hear, but she could actually capture the lip movement and can grab what is being spoken by the interviewer, and she's given the answers accordingly. And it seemed as if no word had been missed out by Evelyn. This is how she's trained herself. Man with bushy beards give me trouble. She never misses out even a single expression from the ordinary people. But the one who's with very heavy walrus mustaches which hides the lips, or people with bushy beard, a very thick and poorly groomed, very hairy beard, can actually give her trouble. This is what she is saying. This is where she feels trouble in understanding the people by lip movement. So, man with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is not just watching the lips, it is the whole face, how she grabs what the people talk. It is the whole face, especially the eyes. Eyes, as are called as the window to your soul, is a mirror of yourself and can express what you want to say. So she is understanding the people by their eyes and by their expressions. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Is another word, friends. Lilt. Lilt is a way of speaking. Everyone brings the mud of the farm of themselves, is a proverb in English. People wherever go can bring what their colloquial, their vernacular tone of the place where they live, and they speak with the same kind of tone. So the way of speaking the language would be called as lilt. She belongs to Scotland, so when she speaks English, she speaks with a Scottish tone, would be called a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11. She does not have the problem of vocabulary much. So she understands that it is not like Helen Keller, who was deaf and blind and had a lot of trouble to grab the mastery over understanding, listening, watching, people. But that doesn't explain how she managed to. Okay, she understands English because she was able to hear up to 11. But after being blind, after being deaf, she has learned French and the other languages, like a bit of mastery over Japanese language. So that is quite phenomenal. But that doesn't explain, we don't really understand how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin. I can feel music in my skin, in my cheekbones, even in my hair. The one who really dedicates herself into music can train the whole body to grab the music, to feel the music. That is what she has done, and this is how she has got mastery over instrument playing. So when she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into the fingertips. Once the sticks third the feel the third of being played upon the xylophone, same third, same beat can be felt through the fingers, to the whole body and mind. She can sense the sound passing of the stick into the fingertips by leaning against the drums, bending down upon something just to give more attention or more involvement would be called as leaning. So this is the word which depends, which meaning depends upon the situation. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances, echoes of sounds. Another word comes, flowing into her body. So she can feel the echoes of sound flowing entirely into her body, and this is how she understands the music, feels the music. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that even the feet can get the vibrations of the sound and can make her feel that, so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and upper legs. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In spite of being deaf, just imagine the concert is being run by a deaf person. Can you trust? Can you believe that? But we have to. Not only she can make them listen to a good music, but she can really delight the audiences. Audiences really enjoy it. So that is something very extraordinary, something very miraculous. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious, this is a society which gives away the awards to the musicians who excel in the music. So she was awarded by that society as a Soloist of the Year award. Says Master Percussionist James Blades about her. Says what? God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels. Far more, and what she feels regarding music is far more deeply than any of us. So she feels music even better than the ordinary people. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. One who can feel music can express it beautifully. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Another word comes, friends, workaholic. That means the one who finds it difficult to stop working. They have to keep on working they have to keep them engaged in certain, otherwise they get fallen ill, they can be frustrated. They have to carry on with working. So she is a workaholic. She has to work. I have just got to work. I have to work. Often harder than classical musicians. Classical musicians, the one who plays on classical instruments, the one who goes for classical singing, they have to work very hard. They have to do a lot of riyaz. practices, but she has to even work harder than the classical musicians. But the rewards are enormous. Hard work always brings or fetches some enormous rewards. The first reward is satisfaction, belief in yourself. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She is very philanthropic. She is a real human heart. She is very sympathetic. She does not only work. She does not work only for earning money, fame, name, but also for the welfare of needy people. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. And Richling of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children. This is an NGO run by Anne Richling. She says what? She is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Well, having seen Evelyn, these even deaf children realize that deaf children who had lost all the hopes in their lives might be thinking that now there is nothing left in the life, they cannot get anywhere. But having seen Evelyn, they feel that they can get restored with their self-confidence, they can reach anywhere. So this is the source of inspiration for the deaf children, Evelyn Glaney. Evelyn Glaney has already accomplished, fulfilled more than most people twice her age. Even the ordinary people can do throughout their life. What achievement they can get in the life entirely by spending all the efforts she has achieved in her very small age. So what we can do in twice of our age, what achievement we get in our life, even if we have 2 lives, and what we can achieve, she has achieved in a very short span of life. So this is her hard work and determination. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that, showed the world that it can be very moving, can be very touching, can really make the people get connected to her. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped. People who look at her and say, if she can do it, I can, and not the least. She has given enormous pleasure to millions. So this is, friends, Evelyn Glaney. Now let's go for the question answers. How old Evelyn when she went to the Royal Academy of Music? So when she went over there, she was 17 years old, and she was very nervous, timid girl when she was for the first time heading to Royal Academy of Music. When was her deafness first noticed? So deafness was first noticed, as you know, by her mother at the age of 8 years, but she kept it concealed from the friends, and it got revealed when she turned out to be 11 years. After each of these questions, in the short paragraph, who helped her to continue with music? What did he do and say? So we are talking about Ron Forbes. So percussionist Ron Forbes helped Evelyn to continue with what? Music. He began by tuning 2 drums to different notes and asked her to listen to them through her ears, not through ears, but try to sense them in a different way. So she has done with applying her body, and she heard the higher notes from the waist up and lower maybe from the waist down. So this is how she was helped by Ron Forbes. Name the various places and causes for which Evelyn performs. So Evelyn has now turned out to be a very sought after percussionist, and she is running through a very hectic schedule. So she also now gives solo performances and regular concerts. So, so she gives concerts in prisons and hospitals, and she's also a very sought after percussionist. So she also gives her concerts. How does Evelyn hear music? So this is really a very big answer. I can just show you the place from where you can get the answer, friends. See, this is where the answer is. It pours in through every part of her body, tingles in the skin, her cheekbones, in her hair. When she plays on xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up stick into the fingertips. By leaning against the drum, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and upper legs. So we can say she listens to the music in a different way, not by ears, but by applying her entire body. That was suggested by Ron Forbes. She's implemented, and now she can just hear it very nicely. By feeling it, she can also play very well. So this is what, friends, about Evelyn Glaney. So we'll soon meet for the second story. Thank you very much, friends.